What's up, YouTube? It's Kenny again. It's about 5:30 in the morning on Saturday. I'm sitting in a truck stop getting ready to take off for the day. This load just got all messed up. I want to talk a little bit about that. So, I'm at this craft plant. I showed up. I was running late at night, night before last, I guess it was, and showed up at that craft plant to pick up my load at like 5 a.m. Okay, I get in there and there's a big line of guys checking in, and some of them are not checking in, and they're saying that some of those guys had been there for like a day and a half trying to get loaded, and I'm like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Because that place, usually they've got my trailer all loaded and ready to go. They're usually really efficient over there. So they give me a door right away. My trailer should have been loaded already, but they give me a door to get live loaded. Ended up being there for over 12 hours to get loaded. Okay. Now, I'm not complaining about the money. I get paid the same either way. Okay. And I needed sleep, so I took my 10-hour break there. But so when I finally get loaded and I go back in there and ask them what happened, what's going on, because they canceled my next load. That was also coming out of there. I was supposed to go deliver and then come back there and pick up another one. And then they were sending me back to Texas. And they said that just a bunch of people didn't show up. Like, that it had been going on for a few days and that a bunch of people didn't show up. And that they had just gotten really, really behind. And I'm like, so what? A bunch of people got their stimulus check and then just didn't show up for work? And they were like, yeah, pretty much. That's crazy, guys. I mean, are you guys seeing this happen? That people got this big stimulus check and then just said, fuck it, I'm not going to work? That seems crazy to me, man. I don't like the dynamic that's creating. Because I have tax issues and I haven't filed taxes in a couple of years, I haven't gotten any of the stimulus checks. But if I had gotten them, I wouldn't just not go to work. I mean, that seems crazy to me. But it seems that is happening to a certain degree. Anyway, I just thought that was crazy, and I wanted to tell you guys about it. That basically, in Illinois, you got a bunch of people that are getting these stimulus checks and then just saying, fuck it, I'm not even going to work. I don't like that. I don't like that, not just because of how it's affecting me, but, I don't like that in terms of the economic situation. And, because I've been realizing, and although, the Fed and people are saying we're not really seeing inflation and blah, 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 and that we might see temporary spikes, we are seeing inflation, okay? Like, in the real world. And Jeremy talked about that, about how these guys don't have any clue what's really going on in the real world, apparently. And, like, I've got a buddy who's in construction. He said material prices are the highest he's ever seen them right now. That like when he goes to build a deck or do a remodel or something, that the material prices are just through the roof. And it's not but it is temporary in my opinion, because the reason that's kind of how these two things connect, is that the reason prices go up is when the demand is more than the supply. So they have to kind of raise the prices to try to keep people from buying so much so they can keep up with the demand. And the part of the reason that's happening right now in some industries is that they don't have enough people coming to work to produce the amount that needs to be produced. And so when they talk about inflation, we're going to have this period where people are starting to come out more and starting to buy more, but there's not necessarily enough people in the workforce right now to keep up with that demand. So it's going to be a tug of war and a push and pull until the two things balance themselves out. And, I think that the Fed is right that we're going to see these temporary spikes, but then that things are going to go back to normal once it balances out. But it just kind of, it solidified it in my mind yesterday when I was picking up that load and they told me a bunch of people didn't come to work. I was just like, well, I can understand not wanting to be in big crowds of people right now. So maybe that's part of it. It's not just a stimulus check. It's the fact that the stimulus check has allowed them to kind of say, okay, I'm going to step back a little bit, now that I've got enough to pay my rent. But it's still, I don't really like how that is affecting the recovery, how it appears to be affecting the recovery, and what that means for interest rates over the next, say, 4, 5, 6 months. Anyway, so let me just say, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a truck driver driving across the country researching and trading stocks, and I will not be held responsible for any moves you make in the stock market, not ever. I'm not your mama. Hit that subscribe button, guys. Subscribe to the channel. Help me grow it. Like the video. And let me know what you think in the comments below. So, I did go ahead and buy another 100 shares of Lordstown Motors in the Roth IRA. I was I had a limit buy set for $13.30. It wasn't triggering for me, so I raised it to $13.35. It did trigger. That puts me at 200 shares at a cost basis of, I believe, $13.90 a share. I am below 14 on 200 shares in the Roth. And then I did the same thing in the long-term account, only I bought 30 shares and then set that limit buy for 10 shares. And then I also bought, I believe I might have already told you this, I bought 200 shares of OEG at $5.80 a share, and then I bought 50 shares in the long-term account at $5.80 a share. So that pretty much puts me close to fully extended with the money that I've got, all right? And I am pretty damn comfortable with my positions right now and in holding them for quite some time, even though I normally do a lot of swing trading in the Roth. I think that the current environment of the market is not really a good place to swing trade, at least not for me with the stocks that I watch. Some people may have, their watch list may be totally different. They may be seeing a lot of swings. But the stuff that I'm watching, the stuff that I have in my watch list, it just doesn't seem like a good time to be trying to swing trade. So I'm sitting on what I've got for right now, and I'm going to soon have the money to start adding more money to the accounts. But I feel pretty good about the positions that I'm in at the moment for the medium term, at least for the next couple months. I want to wait and see how things shake out in the market before I try to make any crazy swing trade moves or anything like that. Things are just kind of too uncertain right now. And as I've said in the past, my strategies will adapt and change as things change in the market. And, that's just what it is. You know what I mean? The market is dynamic. It's constantly evolving and changing. And so our strategies have to also do that. So let's talk about Tesla, guys, all right? ARK Invest released, I'm sure you've seen videos about it. A bunch of people in my subscriptions have made videos about it. So, I'm not going to go too in depth. I'm just going to say that ARK has been right about Tesla in the past, and everybody said how they're just way too bullish and blah, 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 and just ridiculed them for their price targets. And yet they were pretty much on, they were hitting it, guys. And this new price target thing that they released is bullish on the real, guys. They're saying in 2025, they're matching numbers from these bull people like Kevin and their targets for 2030, and they're matching them in 2025. They're saying that in 2025, their basically median case between the high and the low is $3,000 a share in 2025. That's crazy high, guys. Their higher case, I believe, is 4,000, and their bear case is 1,400, or I believe it was 1,400. That's their bear case. And looking it over, they are not putting any solar or energy at all in there. Any of the energy or solar aspect of Tesla, they're not putting that in there at all. And they're coming up to these price targets in 2025. I mean, I've had people in the comments telling me that Tesla's overvalued and that they'd be careful with all the Tesla that I bought and stuff. But guys, I'm still bullish on Tesla. Okay, I think that their price targets are high. Okay, I think 3,000 is high for 2025. But there's no doubt in my mind that we're going to hit some more big spurts. You know, we had this big spurt. We had a few big spurts over this last year. I mean, of course, there was the really huge one that everybody got rich off of. But, you know, even past that, you know, I made money on it several times, you know, from pre-split up till a few months ago. You know, I mean, I made money on it several times. Small amounts because I was swing trading it. And, you know, only 1 or 2 shares at a time. But these 4 shares that I've got, I think I'm going to just hold them. I mean, even though I'm down in them right now pretty significantly, like, I do believe that Tesla in the next year could get up over 1,000. You know, I mean, I really believe that we could see some kind of news or some kind of big spurt that puts them up even way higher than that. I mean, the market is acting funny right now. Everybody's scared of the bond yields and scared of potential inflation, but I don't think that that's going to be permanent. I think the Fed is right that these things are going to be temporary, like I discussed in the beginning of the video. And I think that we are going to get back to a spot in the next, you know, even if it's not really soon, within the next 5-6 months, we're going to get back to a spot where the market is rolling again. And yeah, I mean, I feel really good about the investments that I have right now. I feel confident in everything that I've got. And before I sold all that stuff, I had a bunch of stuff that I wasn't all that sure and confident about. But the things that I have and that I'm holding right now, I feel pretty damn confident about. And I'm not scared to hold them for, you know, months and see what happens. So that's where I'm at right now. So I'm not going to be making a lot of moves coming up unless something crazy happens with one of these stocks. I'm going to be holding on to the stuff I have, riding the volatility, and waiting for the market to, you know, get rid of some of this uncertainty and come back to some kind of a sense of normal before I try to make any swing trades and stuff. Now, I wish I would have, you know, hindsight's 2020. I wish I would have waited another week or two before I made those big purchases, but it is what it is. It brought my account down from where it was. I'm still up overall, so I'm still in the money, still at a higher return than one should typically expect in the market. So I'm still happy with where I'm at. I may not hit my $25,000 target by the end of the year, but you know, I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty happy with where I'm at, and we're going to hold on and ride the volatility and see where we end up in a couple months. Until then, you know, I'll be making videos. I'll be watching, see what's going on, and trying to update you guys on any moves that I do make, deposits I make, where the account's at, stuff like that. But I'm just saying that right now is not a real good time, in my opinion, to be jumping around in all of these risky stocks and stuff. And so I'm not going to be pushing a bunch of stuff during this time period unless I see things that really catch my eye. I don't want any of the people who may be looking to me for guidance to get beat up, and I don't want to get myself beat up either. And so that's just where it's at. Hit that subscribe button, like the video, and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching.